Everything is a Scam by Charles Watson. It's come to my attention in the past few years that, in fact, everything we're told to believe and everything we're encouraged to trust in is just an out and out lie. And it all revolves around the manipulation of science by people who cleverly use language in order to mislead you about what they're saying. One very clear example of this that I've seen a lot in recent years is the phrase "scientists say." Now, I see this quoted all over the place. Scientists say this, scientists say that, scientists say COVID isn't airborne, scientists say masks work, scientists say masks don't work, scientists say vaccines work, etc., etc., whatever. Scientists say. The thing is, there's a very clear difference between scientists say and science says. Now, scientists say it the that can just mean someone who calls themselves a scientist, anyone who calls themselves a scientist, no matter what subject they're an expert in, is saying this, which is obviously very different from saying that this hypothesis is supported by scientific studies. But it isn't reported like that. In the papers, it's always reported scientists say this, scientists say that. And it's obviously just whatever agenda the particular news source has, they will just say, scientists say this, scientists agree with what I say, scientists agree with what I say. I mean, it's all so obvious, and yet nobody seems to be paying any attention to this. Another point that I wanted to discuss is how they will say, when they want to discredit an idea, they'll say, there is no evidence for this idea. Now, this is another semantic trick because it will play on the fact that people will hear this, there is no evidence, and they will assume, because the sentence doesn't really make sense otherwise, they will assume that he's saying they have looked for evidence, but they haven't found evidence. So when they say there is no evidence for that, people think that means this thing is not true, when in fact, it can just mean nobody has checked. So for instance, there is no evidence for aliens, but that doesn't mean aliens aren't true. But I could run a headline saying, no evidence for aliens, and people would, because of the way people seem to think, they would take that as aliens are not true. So yeah, I just wanted to have a little rant about how language is used to mislead you and make you think things have scientific backing when in fact it couldn't be further from the truth.